Hey guys, Phazon343 here, and I'm here to talk to you about System Shock. Believe it or not, yeah, been a little bit of System Shock news that's kind of came out recently. Actually, one of the articles I'm going to be talking about came out a couple of months ago, but I didn't see it until recently, and I've only recently been seeing people talk about it recently. Despite the articles coming out, I think right around like March of 2025, and we're in August right now, or at least in as of the time of this recording. I'm just now seeing like this article from a couple of months ago kind of make the rounds now, and people have been kind of discussing it, and yeah, it's kind of blown up a little bit. So I kind of wanted to make a video on that, and then at the same time in this video, I want to discuss something else that has to do with Night Dive Studios, and just a quick rundown, I guess, for anybody that doesn't know. Night Dive Studios is a video game studio that they did the System Shock 1 remake. Well, I guess even before that, they re-released System Shock 1 and System Shock 2 on PC like years ago. It was like one of the first things that they ever did as a company. And recently, just a couple years ago, they released that System Shock 1 remake, which was that was the first time I'd ever experienced System Shock, and I fucking love that game. It's a 10 out of 10 game. Go play it. If you haven't played it, if you like first-person shooters, you owe yourself a favor to go and play it, because that game is incredible. But anyway, and they just more recently put out the System Shock 2 25th anniversary remaster, which I also just finished that. I played that and just finished that for the first time. I finished it about a week ago now, but yeah, that game also incredible. It's amazing, and both that remake of System Shock 1 and the remaster of now System Shock 2 have just made me an absolute diehard System Shock fan. I love this series. It's literally, even with only these two games, right? It is one of my favorite video game series of all time now. Definitely in my top 10 for sure. Maybe even top 5. I love these games, so yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to kind of make a quick video discussing, what's been going on, what people have been talking about lately, and why there's hope for not only System Shock 3, but a potential System Shock 2 remake. So yeah, I guess let's just jump right into the video, and I can try and explain myself to you guys. All right, let's begin with System Shock 3, because this is the smaller piece of news. This comes from Video Games Chronicle, VGC for short, from here on end. Yeah, this article was posted, let me see, in March of 2025, okay? But I didn't see this posted initially, like all those months ago when it came out. I've only just recently seen it pop up on my news feeds, and only recently have I seen a bunch of people discussing this article by the VGC. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description down if anybody wants to check it out. But I'll just give you a quick recap on what this is. The title of it is Night Dive offers hopeful update on System Shock 3's future. And also, actually, I'll put this up on screen too so you guys can see it. Just at least the title and everything for it. And this is basically a statement from Larry Cooperman, who is Night Dive Studios' Director of Business Development over there. And it basically, when asked about System Shock 3, his response was, and I quote, "very complicated," is how he referred to System Shock 3 when asked about it. But he indicates to fans that they could receive clarifications on System Shock 3 potentially within a year. And potentially within a year is in quotes from him. So he says the situation around System Shock 3 is very complicated. He says, not as yet. I don't know when it's going to clarify, but it could potentially be within a year. It could be, or it could take longer. That said, what I can say is that we have visions of what we can do within what we control. So, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but for right now, we're just going to focus on System Shock 3. So for a quick background in this, right? System Shock 3 was originally going to be made by OtherSide Entertainment, who, for those that don't know, Warren Spector, who worked on the OG System Shock 1 back in the day. This is his new studio. So, when fans were told that, hey, Warren Spector is going to be, he's going to be making the next System Shock game, we were all, obviously excited, super, super excited, because this guy's, a genius, right? I mean, he's made some really crazy good games, and Warren Spector is like I don't know if I necessarily want to say a household name, but he is an influential person in the video game landscape, right? And so everybody, most people were excited. Most people, were super happy about that. But that was told, I want to say right around 2017 or 2018 was when that news came out. But ever since 2020, we have gotten nothing except for the fact that OtherSide Entertainment put out a statement eventually, again, right around, I want to say 2020, saying that they were no longer working on System Shock 3 and that it was the rights to the game, which, are now owned by Tencent, video game publisher Tencent, that they were going to be the ones, you know, um, charting the way for System Shock 3's future. They were basically, they're the ones in charge of it. So, yeah, basically, Other Side Entertainment's System Shock 3 was canceled, and Tencent, who owns the rights to System Shock 3, we don't know what is going on with it. We have no idea who's making it. We didn't even think that, System Shock 3 was like even alive at this point, right? We thought it was dead in the ground, but with these recent comments by Larry Kupperman from Night Dive Studios, again, I'll just kind of briefly go over it again. The situation around System Shock 3 is very complicated. In his words, he said, "I don't know when it's going to clarify, but it could potentially be within a year. It could be, or it could take longer. That said, what I can say is that we have visions of what we can do within what we control." So from that quote, I mean, it sounds like System Shock 3 is still being worked on. I mean, it sounds like they're still trying to, Tencent, I mean, is still trying to get System Shock 3 off the ground. And I don't know. I don't know who could be working on it. I mean, man, I wish Night Dive Studios could be working on it, but that would probably be a really large scale game. I don't know if they could do that. But I want to say, man, if they, after Night Dive Studios, um, work with System Shock 1 Remake, I wouldn't mind like kind of a scaled back System Shock 3, something along those lines on that same scale or whatever. So I don't know. I think Night Dive Studios could make a really good System Shock 3. But anyway, nonetheless, we don't know who's making it, but at least with this quote from Larry Kupperman, it sounds like System Shock 3 is still in the works. So it sounds like it's still being worked on by somebody, or at the very least, Tencent is trying to work on it. So that's the first part of the story, is that there is a little bit of hope for System Shock 3, however small as it is. But I mean, again, the fact that he said it could be potentially within a year, it could be, or it could take a little longer. That's his words, okay? That makes me believe that System Shock 3 is alive, and we're gonna hear about it within a year from now. So, and again, this article is from March of 2025. We're in August, so maybe we'll hear about it a little bit sooner, maybe like in January or February of 2026. I mean, who knows? But I think you can be, at least for right now, we should be a little hopeful for System Shock 3. So you know what? Gosh darn it, I'm gonna try to be a little bit hopeful from Larry Kupperman in his words. So yeah, that's the first part of the story. And the second part of this System Shock news is that System Shock 2 Remake may actually be a thing, and it may actually be being worked on by Night Dive Studios right now. So, for those that don't know, System Shock 1 received a remake from Night Dive Studios, 2 years ago now? I want to say 2023, which, man, it's really crazy to say that. Because I can't believe it's already been 2 years. But anyway, that was my first exposure to System Shock as a series, and I love that game. Got all the achievements in it. I replayed it multiple times. I fucking love that game. 10 out of 10 game. But anyway, going back to this article, this is the same article that I just quoted, from the VGC when I was talking about System Shock 3, okay? Here's a quote from Larry Kupperman in this article. He says, "You're going to see a remaster of System Shock 2. I've been asked twice earlier today why we didn't do a remake, and I said, are you somehow under the impression that because we do a remaster that we won't be able to do a remake in the future? That might be something that I can either confirm or deny, but there's going to be content coming out." And he later says, "We'll see what happens. I mean, there's stuff that we can do within the first and the second." So, and this is after obviously after the System Shock 2 25th anniversary remaster had already been announced. So this article was written after that, after we already knew about that and everything, and we knew that the game was coming out in what is it, July, or at the end of the June, whenever that came out. So yeah, I mean, this obviously isn't referring to that. This is clearly referring to a potential remake of System Shock 2. And that's not the only part of the story that's fascinating. Because if you go onto Night Dive Studios' website, right, you go over to the career section of their basically their job listings for the video for their studio. If you go to level and quest designer, I'll put this up on screen so you guys can see it. And the very first sentence for the level and quest designer contract application, they said, "We are in the process of staffing up our development team with outstanding talent to tackle a brand new sci-fi remake project using Unreal Engine 5." And that's not all, okay? That's for the level and quest design contract. There's another job listing for an environment artist, right? And it's the same thing, the very first sentence. "We are in the process of staffing up our development team with outstanding talent to tackle a brand new sci-fi remake project using Unreal Engine 5." So, I mean, with that's, with the statement made by Larry Kupperman a couple of months ago in March 2025, with there being two job listings on Night Dive Studios' website right now on August 10th, 2025 for a brand new sci-fi remake project. That, I mean, guys, I don't want to sound too crazy, but also in the preferred qualifications for those same job listings, if you go to the preferred qualifications, go down to the bottom, it says like sci-fi and horror media. And System Shock has notoriously been, a lot of people refer to System Shock as a sci-fi first-person shooter and also a horror game. And I can totally understand that. I can totally see that. I understand that completely. So, I don't know, guys. I mean, it looks like that. Again, this is not confirmed, and who knows? I mean, Night Dive Studios could be working on a different sci-fi remake project of some sort. This could be a non-System Shock sci-fi remake of some kind, but I don't know, man. It seems with the statements by Larry Kupperman, again, in this VGC article from a couple of months ago, March 27, 2025, and then we have two job listings from Night Dive Studios specifically calling out someone to work on a sci-fi remake project. And with, again, with all the acclaim and all the positive feedback that came out with the System Shock 2 25th anniversary remaster, I mean, a lot of people loved that game. I loved it too. And I saw nothing but positive headlines and stuff for it. So I think Night Dive Studios, I think, obviously they're huge System Shock fans over there. I mean, that was kind of what got the studio founded to begin with, for those that don't know. Because the creator of Night Dive Studios, Steven, oh man, what is his name? Steven Kick, that's his name. That's the guy that founded it. His, like, the first release, or the first thing that they wanted to do as a company was re-release System Shock so that people could have access to it, like the original System Shock 1 and System Shock 2, I want to say. So, yeah, clearly that they're huge fans of the System Shock series over there. I mean, we already knew that, obviously. But with this VGC article, with the two job listings for specifically looking for a brand new sci-fi remake project in Unreal Engine 5, again, not confirmed by any means, but I think it's safe to say that a System Shock 2 remake is going to be is at least going to be worked on, or at least getting started. Now, I think it's also important to note that anything can happen, right? I mean, projects get canceled all the time. System Shock games have gotten canceled. Again, just the very earlier part of this video, System Shock 3 as we knew it from OtherSide Entertainment, that's gone by the wayside. So who knows? I mean, this System Shock 2 remake could fall by the wayside. It could fall apart. I mean, they were even kind of close to canceling the System Shock 1 remake because they had a bunch of people leave in the very early beginnings of that project. A couple of key people came back to it, but that remake of the first game was almost canceled in of itself. So anything could happen. But I think for right now, I think System Shock 2 Remake is getting made, and I'm all here for it. I love System Shock 2. Again, I just recently played through that a couple weeks ago when it came out and released, and yeah, System Shock 2 is a bop, man. It's so good. It's so good. So I am looking forward to a remake, especially from Night Dive Studios, who made one of my favorite games of all time, which is the System Shock 1 remake. So if they're doing a remake, I am all for it. I'm all hyped for it, and yeah. So I think with all that being said, I think it is being made, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see for the System Shock 3 news, and we'll have to wait and see for the System Shock 2 remake news. Now, to be fair, that's probably not gonna the System Shock. If there is a System Shock 2 remake being worked on, we're probably not going to hear about that for like 2 years or something, at least, I want to say. So that's probably a ways off, but nonetheless, I am hopeful for System Shock, and it just looks like we're in a good place right now if you're a System Shock fan. I'm actually really, I'm kind of really glad and happy that I just recently got into System Shock, because man, if I got into these games earlier and I had to wait this long for, new games in the series, like, whether that be a remaster or a remake, probably would have driven me a little crazy. But then again, at the same time, I'm a diehard Metroid fan, and we've gone long periods of time, without a new game releasing. So I guess I'm no stranger to that. But yeah, anyway, I'm looking forward to hearing about what's happening with System Shock 3, and I'm looking forward to hearing about a potential System Shock 2 remake in the future. So that's gonna do it for me, guys. If you watch this long in the video, give me a like, give me a follow. If you want more System Shock news, it really helps me, helps the channel, and yeah, just really appreciate it. So I'm gonna call it a night. So you guys take care and have a good one.